With the beginning of the new Dark Ether storyline, it seems appropriate for the first map to be a reimagining of the first Ether map, Nacht. But have you ever wondered if there is an in-universe reason why this bunker, in the middle of nowhere, is so significant? Why has it appeared in nearly every iteration of zombies since World at War in 2008? Why was Maschine built beneath it? The answer? It is the origin point of the universe. Cods Forums presents a community theory by Rad Zakpak, voiced by Neverzunter. Before Maschine, all we knew about Nacht was that it was a bunker in the middle of German-occupied Europe. The first indication of something Group 935 related going on there was in the timeline, which stated, an Allied plane malfunctions over an airfield and crashes. German army trucks transporting the undead and Element 115 between Group 935 facilities are struck in the crash. 4 Marines surviving the crash hold out against the undead as long as they can, but eventually die to the undead army.
You know what I just realized? You weren't even there. At least not at first. It was some other random, forgettable soldiers that had the misfortune to live through that horrible night.
Why did the plane malfunction? Why do Ultimus appear there in Black Ops 1 and 3? Then, what about the same bunker appearing in transit? How could it have ended up all the way in Washington? To ask one last question, why is it in the center of Revelations, where the ley lines from every other island end up? It is undeniable at this point that Nacht has some cosmic significance in the zombie storylines. In an official description of the map for Zombies Chronicles, it is even described as being suspended in space. But what makes it the origin point of the universe? How could we say something so absurd? In Maschine, we find out that the bunker is actually located in Morasko, Poland, and we experience the map in winter, with snow-covered trees in the surrounding area. There is evidence to suggest that this surrounding area may be the frozen forest where Ultimus and Primus met their end in Tag der Toten, or at least it is some facsimile of it. The Easter egg song Alone describes a quote-unquote well, meaning the cyclotron built by the Germans, being buried where the 7 fell. The 7 that fell most likely being the members of Primus and Ultimus that died by poisoning in the forest. We also learn in the official cosplay guide for Cold War Zombies that Samantha Maxis is in her 30s, and with Maschine being in 1983, that means she arrived in this new universe around the mid-1960s, which is when Tag der Toten took place in the previous universe. So we know she and Eddie ended up at the same time they left the old universe. Therefore, it makes sense that they would end up in the same place, the frozen forest. That would explain Samantha's knowledge of and fixation on Maschine, and why she would dedicate her life to stopping anyone from activating it. At the end of Tag der Toten, we see the entire multiverse being banished to the Dark Ether. We see everything start to fade, with the final place to disappear being the forest, allowing Sam and Eddie the ability to walk through a bright white light into the new universe. The reason Nikolai chose the forest to be their final destination was for this very reason. It would be the final place to be banished, and it would be the origin point of the new universe. The Germans built their cyclotron there, and were able to access the Dark Ether from Morasko, Poland, because it is so near this origin point. It's like a balloon. The only place air can enter or exit is through one tiny hole that is held shut. If you were to release it, not only could more air be added, but the air can escape. Elements of the Dark Ether are brought into the new universe, and elements of the new universe can enter the Dark Ether, all because Maschine was activated near the frozen forest, the center of the universe, and the connective tissue between dimensions.